From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Lauren, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez. On this Veterans Day, this are your headlines on this November the 11th. Peaceful protests after a grand jury announced no criminal charges against the officer who shot and killed Drayjon Reed. New evidence from the investigation and how the family is reacting this morning.
With COVID-19 cases rising across central Indiana, rural hospitals are also being hit especially hard, reaching critical bed status. What they're doing to manage the overflow of patients. But first, I want to welcome you in here with our team on Good Morning Indiana. Thanks for starting your Wednesday with us here. Rafael, good morning to you down in Johnson County. I'm sure you heard the rain as you were falling asleep last night, just like I did.
I did not. I had a long day yesterday, but I heard that you heard the rain. I was sound asleep, but Todd and Lauren, I did open the front door, which is just on yonder from this camera in my living room. Not bad when you open the door the first time, Todd Clausen.
We'll give it about another hour and a half, Raphael, and things may be a little bit different because our temperatures here this morning are still in the process of falling off into the 40s across the area, and there's a few lingering rain showers. Lauren mentioned the rain last night. I heard it as well. It was a quick burst of rain as the front went through, but it didn't last very long. What we're left with is there's one little shower near Terre Haute right along I-70, a brief little shower here north of Greencastle, just south of Crawfordsville, and that is just about it. And that little broken line of rain that you see on radar, that's the actual front that continues to make its way, or it's the dividing line between temperatures that are in the 40s compared to the 50s. The bulk of the rainfall is now moving off to the east, but here are those temperatures right now. Still in the 50s in Muncie as well as Bloomington. Transition now into the upper 40s in Indy, but look at Lafayette, 43 degrees. Everybody will probably drop down to about 43 to 45 degrees here this morning before we slowly start to moderate the temperatures throughout the afternoon. Some lingering cloud cover here this morning, but by this afternoon we are looking at mostly sunny skies, but a temperature that'll be right around 50 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads at this early hour. Here on the Near East Side, this is I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly in both directions there. No crashes around the metro area to slow down your Wednesday commute at this hour, but of course we'll keep you updated.
This has not been an easy task, and it's been a very heavy burden.
A grand jury deciding not to indict Metro Police Officer Deja Mercer in the fatal shooting of Drayjon Reed. 7 months after Reed's death, state police released the video and audio that made up their investigation. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more information on that grand jury's decision. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So the grand jury declined to indict Officer Deja Mercer, citing insufficient evidence. Indiana law calls for a secret grand jury, so we don't know exactly what happened in that grand jury room, but we do know after that announcement came last night, Indiana State Police went over their evidence with the media, showing us what they know, not what they think. So State Police Superintendent Doug Carter says the special investigation was not taken lightly. Seen publicly for the first time last night are clear pictures of Reed's gun with its distinct markings, in addition to new surveillance footage that shows how close Officer Mercer and Reed were to each other. But it doesn't clearly show what happens after the two run across Michigan Road. State Police point to audio data, which they say captures the sound of 13 gunshots from Officer Mercer and 2 from Reed, which were also matched to ballistic tests. Now, Superintendent Doug Carter saying they only are talking about exactly what they know right now and not just what they think.
We didn't pick a side, and we will never pick a side. We have hundreds and hundreds of hours in this investigation for really 2 reasons. Number 1, to explain to the family of Drayjon Reed what happened. They lost a child. Number 2, for the citizens of this great city to explain what happened on that day.
Now, we spoke to Reed's sister, Jasmine Reed, and she spoke last night saying, quote, "There was no justice served. My brother is not resting well, and there is no way." End quote. An attorney for Officer Mercer released a statement also last night saying, in part, "We've always believed the evidence proved that Mercer was justified in defending himself, and the evidence showed that he took actions consistent with his training and, more importantly, consistent with the law." End quote. Now, several organizations have released statements on this case, including the NAACP, Metro Police, and the Mayor's Office. For those statements, you can head over right now to the WRTV News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, following the announcement, many peaceful people marched in the streets of downtown. They are upset with the grand jury's decision. Drayjon Reed's sister spoke to WRTV during the demonstration. She shared her reaction to the grand jury's decision and a message for those who are speaking out in her brother's name.
There was no justice served. My brother is not resting well. There's no way. So now we got to go on every day. I got to have my son. We got to go on every day with life. My brother can't, see his nephew coming into this world. He can't enjoy his niece anymore, his mother, his father, his other two sisters. I mean, to the community, just keep fighting for my brother, your family, everybody.
Well, despite concerns from business owners, the demonstration did remain peaceful. Organizers for Indy 10 Black Lives Matter posted on social media saying that they plan to hold another protest today, Raphael.
Lauren, Indiana dealing with a rise in COVID cases and COVID deaths. The State Department of Health reports 4,879 new cases. That is the 6th day in a row that the numbers have been more than 4,000. 63 more Hoosiers have died with the disease. 387 deaths have also been reported so far this month. That's more than the total numbers in July, August, and September. Indiana officials are scheduled to give their weekly briefing on the pandemic later this afternoon.
As cases climb, so do hospitalizations, and in rural areas, hospitals are reaching critical bed status. Reed Health serves 9 counties in the eastern part of the state. Officials there say the increasing cases causing them to run out of space, even exceeding what they can offer as temporary overflow. They say that they may also have to cut back on services if the trend continues.
We will have to look at whether we can continue to support the elective surgeries and so forth. And I don't want to cause alarm or panic, but we're running out of options.
Dr. Huth says that the hospital is partnering with extended care facilities to help place patients elsewhere. He says Hoosiers and especially young people need to keep wearing face masks and follow safety protocols so hospitals can continue caring for patients.
And Lauren, the CDC has made some changes to its guidance on wearing masks. The agency now says that cloth face coverings can also protect you and not just the people around you. According to the CDC website, masks can help filter particles other people breathe while also blocking the ones you breathe. The change comes after several studies showing that masks can also prevent catching coronavirus by more than 70%. And this morning, Lauren, nearly 62,000 people across our country are in the hospital dealing with COVID-19.
That's more than any other time, Raphael, since the pandemic began. And ABC's Kenneth Moten explains what's being done as more states reach an all-time high.
This morning, ICUs across the country say they're crippled by a crush of patients as pandemic-related hospitalizations hit an all-time high.
We need help. We're short nurses.
New data revealing 40% more people are now hospitalized with COVID than just 2 weeks ago.
They're absolutely just overwhelmed. It's been insane. This is what we were fearing.
Massachusetts is now preparing field hospitals. California is rolling back reopenings. And Vermont is requiring all travelers to quarantine even if they test negative. Despite new efforts to control the spread, the U.S. on Tuesday saw its highest number of daily cases ever, with more than 130,000. All 50 states are now reporting infections on the rise. Texas now seeing nearly 11,000 new cases per day. Wisconsin is seeing positivity rates tick past 30%. Doctors in the state saying new cases have quadrupled and patients are sicker than ever.
We're having to employ more advanced therapies for people on ventilators.
Major sports programs are also feeling the effects of the latest surge. Texas A&M and Auburn football teams are reporting dozens of new cases, derailing the season. On the front lines, workers are fearing the worst as we hit the height of flu season.
I don't know. Are we going to have enough rooms? Are we going to have enough vents? I don't know.
But White House officials say help is on the horizon.
So I would say by April, you'll be able to be vaccinated.
The government says it's ready to distribute 20 million doses of the vaccine as soon as it's approved. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, we're still dealing with a few lingering rain showers across parts of the area, but they're all very, very light. That's the good news. I really don't think they're going to hamper the morning commute all that much. We have one little shower near Terre Haute here, and then a few more as you work your way up through the Kokomo and the Peru area, and that's really just about it. But there is still quite a bit of lingering cloud cover around. So as the kids head off to the bus stop this morning, I really don't think they need to have the rain gear with them because, again, it's just a hit or miss shower. Most of us are completely dry, but you do need to bundle up a little bit. Temperatures are still in the process of cooling off, and we'll be in the mid to upper 40s on average here across most of the area during the course of the morning. But by this afternoon, the sun will be out. It turns into a nice bright day for us, but temperatures just not going to really warm much at all because we will have a northwesterly wind that is going to keep our highs this afternoon right around 50 degrees. Our actual high temperature happened just after midnight when we were still in the 60s. So it does get brighter today, but make sure you bundle up a little bit as you get going on this Wednesday morning.
Tom, thank you. New surveillance video catching an arsonist in action. Coming up, why investigators hope that this will lead to more information from the community.
And on a much lighter note, but taller note, the Indianapolis Zoo has a new zoo baby. Still ahead when you can see the latest addition to the zoo family. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday morning.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:14 on your Wednesday. Here's a live look at traffic just a little east of the downtown area. No problems on I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Traffic is picking up, as you can see there on your screen. We'll continue to keep a close eye on the roads throughout the morning hours and keep you updated. Raphael?
Lauren, in the news, investigators have released a new video in hopes of catching an arsonist. Look at this video. This is home surveillance video. Shows a person on camera outside of a home on Indy's north side as it caught fire. This happened Saturday on East 91st Street and has been ruled an arson. The person in the video is not seen clearly, but investigators hope it leads to more information. IFD says the homeowners and their pets evacuated before that fire got inside the home. This is video from the owners before they escaped. If you have any information about the situation, remember your call can remain anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
A former Tri-West High School principal will apologize to one of his former students after admitting that he failed to properly report allegations of suspected child abuse. Adam Benner reached a pretrial diversion agreement with the prosecutors on November 6th, and he admitted to one misdemeanor charge of failure to make a report. The charges against Benner stem from the Tyler Bruce case, a former Tri-West teacher and coach who's now charged with child seduction. Court records show Benner knew about the allegations involving Bruce and a then 16-year-old student. Rather than reporting it to police or the Department of Child Services, Benner told other administrators that any further information regarding Bruce and the student should be sent directly to Benner. As part of the agreement, Benner must send an apology letter to the victim, who is now 18 years old.
Instead, use your time to go teach another teacher, administrator, someone in another school system to prevent it from happening to someone else. That would be a real apology.
Well, Adam Benner resigned from Tri-West back in June of last year. As part of the one-year agreement, Benner must also not commit any criminal offenses, promptly respond to all telephone calls and letters from the prosecutor's office, and pay court fees and must work to find suitable employment, rather. If he meets the requirements, after a year, prosecutors will dismiss the criminal case against Benner. Benner's teaching license is suspended until February 2021. His administrator's license is suspended until February 2022. And we reached out to the Hendricks County prosecutor and Benner's attorney. We're still waiting on responses. Tyler Bruce denies the allegations against him. His child seduction trial is scheduled for February. Raphael?
Today is Veterans Day, and the National Parks Service saluting their service to our country in a big way. They're going to do this, giving them a forever entrance into many of their parks. Starting today, entrance fees to all national parks are now being waived for veterans and Gold Star families permanently. And that includes places like the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, the National Wildlife Refuge sites, and other federal lands. Now, to get the free pass called the America the Beautiful Pass, veterans must show a form of ID showing their service. Businesses are also showing their thanks to veterans today. Many restaurants are offering free food, while some stores are offering discounts. You can find a full list on our website, WRTV.com. And Todd Clausen, we want to thank your granddad for being a veteran. We thank him for his service. And we thank you today for giving us, I think, a pretty good forecast.
Yeah, you know, both my grandparents were in World War II, so you have to go back a ways. But yeah, they were one of the first ones on shore there on D-Day. So yeah, thank you to them and everybody for their service here, no doubt about that. All right, as far as the weather goes here today, we are dealing with kind of a transition, I guess is the best way to put it. Right now, we still have a little bit of wind. We have a little bit of cloud cover. Not so much in the way of rainfall out there. There's just a few very, very light rain showers that are still lingering across the area. This light one just north of Brazil as you work your way up here, Indiana 59 towards the Rockville area. Nothing that's going to really hamper your morning commute. But if you're in the vicinity here off to the west and even to the north, there could be a lingering shower here or there. You may have to throw your windshield wiper on briefly, and that should be just about it. But definitely don't think of today as a wet day. All the real heavy rainfall has obviously moved off towards the east, and it's going to continue to head in that direction. In fact, things will get better as our day goes on. It's just not necessarily going to get warmer for us. We've already hit our high temperature for the day today. But you see on TrueCast, we have a lingering shower that'll be here throughout the course of the morning hours. And then by this afternoon, everybody is starting to get into a lot of sunshine across the area. The view from downtown right now off to the west shows the cloud cover in place right now. And as far as the temperature goes in Indianapolis, we sit at 49 degrees. But here's our issue throughout the day today. The wind, and not only the wind speeds, they'll start to decrease as the day goes on, but it's the wind direction that's the biggest issue for us. Because it's a northwesterly wind, it's going to continue to drive in these cooler temperatures across the area. So we're in the mid 50s still in Connorsville, 52 in Richmond compared to 42 in Lafayette. And this cooler air will continue to overspread the area to the east as we progress throughout the morning hours. And you don't have to go too much further off to the west to find temperatures in the 30s, the 20s, and even the teens. Now, we're not going to get into the teens, but temperatures today really won't moderate all that much, even with some sunshine. So the morning hours still has some cloud cover around. We're breaking the cloud cover apart by mid-morning. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, we're looking at plenty of sunshine. And by 2 p.m., we're at 50 degrees. But then we basically just stay right around 50 degrees throughout the remainder of the day. But again, it's going to be bright and you'll need the sunglasses. This evening, if you have plans, we cool off into the 40s very quickly and then eventually into the 30s. And overnight tonight, we go down to 33 degrees. It's a cold start to our day tomorrow. And in some areas to the north could even be in the 20s. Despite the chilly start, we will see temperatures moderate up into the mid 50s tomorrow. It's completely sunny. Friday's a sun-filled day for us, but it's cool at 48 degrees. And then we get to Saturday. There could be a few flakes early Saturday morning. Don't let that scare you. Temperatures will be right around 30 degrees by the afternoon. We're up to 53. There's some scattered showers around. Sunday's mild at 62, and then much cooler weather moves back in next week with sunshine and temperatures in the upper 40s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads at this early hour. No crashes or delays to slow you down. Here's a look at I-70 west of the downtown area near Harding Street. Traffic is moving along smoothly. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any trouble spots. Raphael?
So, Lord, have you heard about this? More fast food chains are joining the plant-based trend. McDonald's announcing a new plant-based burger called the McPlant. The chain says it's planning to test the new patty in key markets next year. Beyond Meat, a seller of meatless products, says it co-created the patty with McDonald's. They started testing the burger in Canada just last year. Now, if all goes well, the company says it could eventually branch out to plant-based chicken and breakfast sandwiches. McDonald's following its rival chain, Burger King, who was the first to unveil their plant-based burger. It's called the Impossible Whopper, and that, of course, happened last year. But listen, Pizza Hut is also adding plant-based food to the menu. They're using Beyond Meat's Italian sausage, which makes them the first chain to offer plant-based meat pizza. It can be used as crumble on either the cheese or veggie pizza, whichever one you like. It is currently available at all U.S. Pizza Hut locations. I think I'm going to give that a try.
I like meat-based meat, Raphael, but you try it and let me know how it goes. So
I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you. Well, we do have some good news. The newest baby at the Indianapolis Zoo is already 6 feet tall. The zoo has announced the birth of a giraffe. The male calf and his mom are doing well, we can report. Giraffe pregnancies last 14 months, and they give birth standing up. The zoo's herd is now up to 5 members. The new family is expected to make its debut in the spring. The zoo plans to hold a public naming contest on social media in the future. Very cute.
So, Lauren, I've been home for several months now. I may give this a try right here. Not giving birth to a giraffe, but this here. With most theme parks closed during the pandemic, one family is bringing the thrills to their backyard. How they built this replica coaster after the break, I think, well, maybe. We'll see what happens. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday.
Welcome back. So during the pandemic, many people have found more time on their hands. Not Rafael Sanchez, but other people have found more time on their hands.
Listen, you're handy, and this story reminds me that I really need a Purdue University engineering degree. But some folks really had a lot of extra time on their hands, and they worked on some really, like huge projects. Let me take you to California, where a family built a miniature version of Disneyland's iconic Matterhorn roller coaster. Check this out. They started building it in their backyard in May and finished it in July, Lauren. It has all the details right down to the Yeti. What? Dad Sean LaRochelle recently shared the coaster on social media, hoping to share the wild ride with other thrill seekers stuck at home. I can't even get a nail into the wall. What is up with that?
Right. We're not engineers.
Hey,
but that's awesome.
That's pretty
awesome.
good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. All right. If you walk out the door here, it's been a little it's going to be a roller coaster ride temperature-wise. The next couple days, we've been in the 70s. We're going into the 40s this morning and back up to 50 degrees later on this afternoon. There's a few isolated showers out there still this morning. Some lingering cloud cover, mid-40s this morning, but plenty of sunshine this afternoon. The only problem is we just don't really warm a whole lot, only going back up into the low 50s. More in your extended forecast coming up in just a little bit.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
The grand jury findings in the Drayjon Reed case are in now at 5:30. We're breaking down the latest information from the special prosecutor and Indiana State Police.
And hospitals across our state seeing an increase in mental health patients, how they're working to ease burdens for both the patients and staff. It is 5:31 on our Wednesday, November the 11th. It's also Veterans Day. So from our team, we want to thank you to all the veterans out there, especially here in the Hoosier State, who served our country. Raphael.
Good morning to you, Lauren and Todd Clausen. If you step outside right now, as I did, it's not too bad now, but you're telling us expect a major change.
Yeah, we're in the process of cooling things down here, Raphael. We were in the 70s the past couple days, and today we're only going to get back up to right around 50, maybe 51 degrees later on this afternoon. And the cooler air is still in the process of working its way into the area. Take a look at these temperatures. Bloomington at 51 degrees, but you head up to Lafayette, and it's only at 42 right now. Indianapolis splitting the difference at 49. But here's the issue. The wind's out of the northwest. It's breezy here this morning, and that northwesterly wind is what's going to prevent us from really warming much at all throughout the remainder of the day. A little broken line of showers still lingering here from about the Peru area back to Terre Haute. So as this works its way through, don't be shocked if you get a quick little passing sprinkle this morning, but we're not looking at any heavy or substantial rainfall. That is now well off to the east. As far as going forward in this forecast throughout the day today, it's a little bit of a sluggish start as far as the sky cover goes. We have some clouds that'll be around, but then plenty of sunshine later on this afternoon. With that sunshine, again, we're not going to warm a whole lot, only going back up into the low 50s. And then once the sun sets, look how quickly we cool off. By 7 p.m., back down to 45 degrees. Lauren.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is down on the southwest side where traffic is moving smoothly on I-465 in both directions here at Man Road. No delays to report at this hour for your commute. Raphael.
Lauren, the Metro police officer accused of killing Drayjon Reed will not face any criminal charges. This the decision of a grand jury after reviewing a state police investigation. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with the details on the decision. Kelsey?
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So that grand jury declining to indict Officer Deja Mercer, citing insufficient evidence. You know, Indiana law requires for a secret grand jury, so we don't know what exactly happened in that grand jury room. But after the announcement, Indiana State Police, they went over their findings with the media. So State Police Superintendent Doug Carter says the special investigation was not taken lightly. Seen publicly for the first time last night are clear pictures of Reed's gun with its distinct markings, in addition to new surveillance footage that shows how close Officer Mercer and Reed were to each other. But it doesn't clearly show what happens after the two run across Michigan Road. State police point to audio data, which they say captures the sound of 13 gunshots from Officer Mercer and 2 from Reed, which were also matched to ballistics tests. The task of announcing that no charges would be filed against IMPD officer Deja Mercer was visibly difficult. It was a visibly difficult duty for Special Prosecutor Rosemary Curry.
Fairness, and from day one, that's been my goal. It's a very sad situation to have, no one wins here. So I hope that anyone who was a part of this entire process can look at this and feel comfortable that the investigation was done in an impartial manner, because that's exactly what my team and I did over the past 5 months that we've had this case.
So last night after the announcement, Reed's sister, Jasmine Reed, spoke to us saying, quote, "There was no justice served. My brother is not resting well. There's no way," end quote. And then an attorney for Officer Mercer released a statement last night saying, in part, "We've always believed the evidence provided that Mercer was justified in defending himself. The evidence showed that he took actions consistent with training and more importantly, consistent with the law." Now, several organizations have released statements, including the NAACP, Metro Police, and the Mayor's Office. You can see all those statements right now, plus more, over on the WRTV News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Developing this morning, Metro Police are investigating the deaths of 2 people at a home on the city's southeast side as a murder-suicide. Homicide detectives were called to Amarillo Way just before 6:30 Tuesday evening. The neighborhood is near Stop 11 Road and South Combs Road. Investigators say officers found an adult male and female inside of the residence with injuries consistent with gunshot wounds. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. Officers are asking anyone that may have heard or seen anything to call Crime Stoppers this morning.
Turning now to the pandemic and its impact on Hoosier lives, a grim milestone reported on Tuesday. State health officials confirmed 63 more Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. That's the highest number in a single report since April. This month so far, 387 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. This month is now the second deadliest for the coronavirus since July. To date, nearly 4,500 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. Health officials also report nearly 4,900 new coronavirus cases. Since March, more than 219,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. And the latest data shows the state has 30% of its ICU beds still available. COVID-19 patients account for nearly 28% of the ICU beds being used right now. Monday set another record for hospitalized Hoosiers receiving treatment for COVID-19 with more than 2,300.
And while doctors and nurses are dealing with an increase in COVID-19, emergency room staff are also dealing with something different, an increase in mental health issues coming into those facilities. The amount of people who need mental health care has greatly increased this year alone. In IU Health's large emergency departments, 1 in 4 patients coming in are seeking behavioral health assistance. Over at Eskenazi, health clinics have seen a 35% increase in people seeking mental health care in just the past 3 months. And doctors say resources are running thin.
Compared to 2019, we are seeing about double the amount of patients coming into our emergency departments. with a primary diagnosis of behavioral health. A lot of the inpatient units are reaching capacity.
If you're experiencing depression, suicidal thoughts, or anxiety, experts recommend that you talk with your primary care doctor or go to your local ER or call a mental health hotline for any assistance. To help healthcare workers, Eskenazi is providing time for staff to talk with their supervisors. IU Health plans to create a peer support group as well as offer counseling to its staff. The pandemic is also having a negative effect on some children. A study out of the UK says that some young children are losing basic skills like how to eat with a knife and fork, and others have regressed back into diapers. The reports are based on findings from more than 900 visits to education and social care providers across England since just this past September. Some of the children most affected by the disruption of the pandemic were those in their earliest years of education with working parents.
A new park on the near south side of Indianapolis is back, and it's better than ever. The city celebrating the grand reopening of Sandorf Park on Tuesday. It now features a musical sensory plaza, a fully accessible structure, new basketball courts, a track for skateboarding, and much more. The park is located on Dawson Street, right behind Frederick Douglass IPS School 19. And Todd, hopefully the kids got outside, enjoyed the last few days of weather here because we have a cool down. It's making its way in right now.
Yeah, you know, we told you enjoy the past couple days. Each and every day. I think I emphasize that because changes are heading our way. We're in the process of seeing those changes happen right now. We had the big burst of rain yesterday evening. Kevin Gregory walked you through that throughout the evening hours. The front is basically through the area now. There's still a few lingering showers, as you see, but we have these northwesterly winds, and that is going to be an issue for the temperatures here throughout the remainder of the day. We'll continue to see our temperatures drop from the 50s in some areas, many locations already in the 40s, but by the time we get to 9 a.m., everybody's pretty much in the 40s with just a couple lingering 50-degree temperatures off to the east. But as I advance this into the afternoon, when we typically should see our temperatures really start to moderate, look what happens. We only get back up to the upper 40s here in northern locations, 50s across the rest of the area. So it's much, much cooler than it has been. In fact, temperatures today don't even get above normal later on this afternoon. And then look what happens overnight tonight. By the time you wake up Thursday morning, you see the timestamp there in the top right-hand portion of your screen. Many locations are right around the freezing mark. Remember the 60s and 70s yesterday? Oh boy, winter is on its way towards central Indiana. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. The Affordable Care Act is being challenged before the U.S. Supreme Court once again. And so straight ahead, why some legal experts say the law could be upheld once again.
And a recall alert this morning for anyone who owns a Ring doorbell. Coming up, why the company says its product may be a fire hazard and how you can make sure that your device is safe. It's 5:41. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. It is 5:44. As the Trump campaign continues its challenge of the election results, President-elect Joe Biden is working on his transition to the White House. And at his first news conference since the election, Biden did his best to reassure the American people he's forging ahead with the transition. This despite the fact the White House is not cooperating yet and the president has yet to concede. Biden is keeping the spotlight on policy, namely protecting the Affordable Care Act, the landmark law that was passed under President Barack Obama.
This argument will determine whether health care coverage of more than 20 million Americans who acquired it under the Affordable Care Act will be ripped away in the middle of the nation's worst pandemic in a century. Over 100 million people with pre-existing conditions like asthma, diabetes, cancer could once again be denied coverage.
President-elect Biden went on to say that health care is not a partisan issue but a human issue, and he'll do everything that he can to keep that law intact.
So, Lauren, meanwhile, the Supreme Court, as you just mentioned, continues to hear arguments on the fate of the Affordable Care Act. That law, as you mentioned, is being challenged by several Republican-led states. They argue that the individual mandate at the heart of the ACA, requiring that all Americans have health insurance, should be struck down as unconstitutional, and they want the whole law thrown out with it. But lawyers supporting the ACA say it can survive without the mandate. Justices John Roberts and Brett Kavanaugh appear to agree.
I think it's hard for you to argue that Congress intended the entire act to fall if the mandate were struck down. when the same Congress that lowered the penalty to zero did not even try to repeal the rest of the act.
This is a very straightforward case for severability under our precedents, meaning that we would excise the mandate and leave the rest of the act in place.
The Affordable Care Act was previously upheld by the Supreme Court twice in the years 2012 and 2015. If it struck down, millions of Americans, including those with pre-existing conditions, could lose health coverage. A final decision on this case is not expected until next spring.
It is 5:46. The Vatican has released its report on the investigation into former U.S. Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. The 2-year internal investigation finds church leaders dismissed reports of sexual abuse allegations about McCarrick. The former cardinal was promoted in 2001 by the late Pope John Paul II. In 2005, Pope Benedict asked for McCarrick's resignation amid accusations of harassment and abuse, but McCarrick did not step down. In 2018, an internal church investigation found the allegations to be true, although he maintained his innocence. He did resign as cardinal, and last year he was defrocked by Pope Francis.
It is a year of many firsts, and here is another. The first for the U.S. Naval Academy. A black woman will be in charge of the student body. Congratulations. Midshipman First Class Sydney Barber has been named the brigade commander for the spring semester. That is the highest student leadership position at the military school in Indianapolis, Maryland. Barber will lead much of the day-to-day activities and training for more than 4,400 cadets. She is a mechanical engineering major who aspires to be a Marine Corps ground officer. Again, congratulations to Ms. Barber.
Well, he is a top dog, literally. Sully H.W. Bush, the former service dog to late President George H.W. Bush, now has 2 statues in his honor. The yellow lab captured hearts after a photo of him resting near President Bush's casket went viral. His first statue at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center outside of Washington, D.C., and now he has a second statue at Smithtown, New York. That's where Vet Dogs is located, that service group that trained him before he served for Bush in the last 6 months of Bush's life. At Walter Reed, Sully's duties include reducing stress as well as just making people happy, and it's something he no doubt excels at. Admiring the artwork there, as you can see. He says, that is a good-looking pup.
Right? Either that or somebody's holding a treat there just saying, stay, stay. But he is a good-looking pup, and how great is he? All right, outside right now, we're dealing with a few lingering showers across parts of the area. And there's a lot of clouds around here this morning. If you see one of these showers, it's going to go through really quick. It's going to be light. You really don't have to worry about it, to be honest with you. As we get into the afternoon hours, sunny skies, we are in great shape. And then this evening, it's clear, but we cool off very, very quickly back into the 30s. And you can see the cooler air continuing to work into the area. 55 right now in Connorsville, 50 in Greenfield, 47 in Indy. Then you continue your westward trek. Greencastle 44. We'll go north to Lafayette, and it's 42. The winds are out of the northwest, so we're going to continue to bring in these cooler temperatures. And look at the temperatures just off to the west of Indiana. 36 in Chicago. Des Moines, Iowa is at 27 degrees. Lincoln, Nebraska at 22. We're not going to get into temperatures that cold, but it's going to be a lot different now the second half of this work week compared to what we were experiencing the first half of the work week, as we saw record high temperatures for 3 days in a row on Sunday, Monday, and also yesterday. Look at the temperatures for the remainder of the morning. A lot of times when I show you this, the temperatures are holding steady, and then as we get into the middle half of the morning, they start to come up. We continue to drop all the way into the 8 o'clock hour, and then even as we get into the sunshine and we start to warm in what typically would be warmer temperatures in the afternoon hours, and we will be a little bit warmer, but we're not going to see that big jump. We're only at 47 degrees as we get closer to the noon hour, and then highs eventually will only be climbing up into the low 50s. Here are those lingering showers that I mentioned. Nothing to write home about. Just don't be shocked if you get on the roadways here this morning and there's a quick passing shower, but you don't need to carry the umbrella around throughout the entire day. The bulk of this steady rainfall is pushing off towards the east. We've already hit our high temperatures for the day today. These are your temperatures that you are going to experience it right around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Upper 40s in Logansport to Kokomo, about 51 in Frankfort, 51 in Indy, a little bit warmer to the south here as temperatures will be in the mid-50s from Bloomington to Columbus over towards Greensburg. This evening, temperatures cool off very quickly with clear skies. We're in the 40s for most of the evening, and then by 11 p.m. into the 30s. And then for the day tomorrow, it's a bright day for us. Nothing but sunshine out there. We start near freezing. It's a cold start to your Thursday. We'll get the temperatures back up into the 50s in the afternoon hours. Friday is chilly at 48 degrees. And then once we head into the weekend, we do start to warm up. There could be a few flakes early Saturday morning, and then it's just some scattered showers. Sunday up to 62, and then cooler weather works its way back in, but with sunshine for Monday and Tuesday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Good news on the roads. Everything's pretty quiet this morning. Here's a live look at your commute at I-69 up near State Road 38. No problems for drivers in the Anderson area, in Madison County, and Hamilton County. As you're heading farther down I-69, everything looks to be open and traveling up to speed, so that is good news this morning. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning, though, and we'll keep you updated on any trouble spots. Raphael.
We're working for you with a consumer alert on this Wednesday. Ring is recalling some 350,000 of its video doorbells. Do you have one of these? The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the doorbells can catch on fire. Ring has reported 23 reports of fire involving its second-generation smart doorbells. At least 8 people suffered minor burns, and there has been some property damage. The doorbell battery can overheat if the incorrect screws are used for installation. The recalled doorbells were sold in the United States and Canada between June and October of this year. On this Veterans Day, Good Morning Indiana wants to thank our veterans for their service and sacrifice to our country. We say thank you to all of them. This is Lauren's and Todd's night. Tonight, of course, is country music's biggest night of the year, the annual CMA Awards, and you'll only see it right here on WRTV. This year will look a little different, of course. The stars will be primarily performing for a TV audience only due to the pandemic. The Nashville Music House has been set up to resemble the very first CMA Awards show back in 1967. Miranda Lambert leads the way this year with 7 nominations and is now the most nominated female artist in CMA Awards history. Darius Rucker and Reba McEntire will serve as your hosts. Again, you can watch the 54th annual CMA Awards right here on WRTV starting at 8 o'clock. And tomorrow, Todd and Lauren will be a little sleepy because they're going to stay up to watch their big show. Right, guys?
I didn't hear what he said. The producer was talking in my ear.
Are you going to stay up to watch the CMAs?
Actually, I'm off tomorrow, so I might stay up.
I'll probably go to bed.
So either that or I'll just watch the recap later on. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s here this morning. It's a chilly start to our day, or a cooler start compared to what we've had. There's a few lingering showers that are out there. It's nothing more than a sprinkle, though, so really don't worry about the rain. And as we go throughout the day, we shift into sunshine here this afternoon. So about 52 degrees will be your high temperature, plenty of sunshine. It's a bit breezy all day, so just have to bundle up a little bit if you're going to be out and about. We'll talk more about your news headlines and have your latest traffic report as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.